Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's professional development seminar on adding video to your Canvas course using Canvas Studio. This is an introductory seminar on Canvas Studio. We'll start with no assumptions and no requirement for any prior knowledge, and try to make sure that we explain everything as completely as possible. When I fail to do that, please let me know and I'll try again. The Canvas Studio is something to which you all have access, whether you've used it before or not, by virtue of having an account on our Canvas learning management system. Canvas Studio is a tightly integrated external tool that works with Canvas to help you create, manage, and share instructional video. And that's a pretty important thing these days. There is no instructional tool, instructional modality that we have access to today that's more powerful than instructional video. There are, of course, massive amounts of instructional video available online, which you can use, much of which you can use for free and just link into your Canvas courses or provide to your students in other ways. But there's a very special, saw something I forgot to correct. There we go. There's a very special significance to video that you create. Your students are much more likely to pay attention and to listen actively and watch actively when you have created the instructional video, because you're the one who's going to be making the test and assigning their grades. And they're used to your voice, both your physical voice, how you sound, and your metaphorical voice, how, your speech patterns, your attitudes, your priorities, all the things that govern how you teach. So instructional video that you create and share with them yourself is going to have much more of an impact and be much more effective in the long run as a learning tool. Even if some of the videos you can find online that you can use for free are very professionally produced and look and sound like $1 million and so on, it's just not you. So your students really appreciate you creating your own instructional videos for them. And Canvas Studio is one of the best tools that we have access to for making that possible. It is a hosting site, above all, for online video. Think YouTube, without all the advertisements, and of course, without all the cat videos, unless you happen to be teaching feline management or something. And you can host online video, an unlimited amount of online video through Canvas Studio. We'll see how you get that video on the Canvas Studio and how you share it with your students in a minute, but you basically have no limitations right now anyway with Canvas Studio in terms of how much video you can share, you can have in your Canvas Studio library, or how many students can view it, or how often they can view it. It's a wonderfully resourced tool that will provide you with all the resources that you need to share any amount of instructional video with your students. And it contains a number of excellent video creation tools. It's not just a hosting site like YouTube or sharing site. it also has tools that allow you to create different types of videos. And we'll take a look at those tools as we go through today. So what videos? How do we get videos? Well, you may make them yourself. You may make them using Canvas Studio, the recorder tools in Canvas Studio, or you may make them in other ways. You may shoot video with your smartphone. We all walk around with quite a powerful video studio in our pockets all the time now, which we can pull out and be recording video in just a few seconds. And this allows us to take advantage of teachable moments that we happen to run into out in the world, or allows us to create a video at home or in our offices. And again, while it may not have the production values that you see in a feature film or something like that, it certainly will be instructionally useful, and again mean more to your students because you made it as opposed to someone else that you just found on the internet. As we've already said, you can create your videos in Canvas Studio. We'll see how to do that. Or you can create those videos with other tools like your smartphone or other software packages like Snagit or Zoom. Zoom is a terrific video production tool. I'm creating instructional video right now by presenting in Zoom. If you turn on the Zoom recorder, you're producing instructional video by definition. If your attendees are students anyway. So there's lots of ways to create instructional video. We'll just focus today on the tools in Canvas Studio, but there are many other ways to create instructional video. We just finished about a week and a half ago our periodic instructional video production seminar, whose recording is now online for you to look at if you like. And so there's lots of different ways that you have, without spending a lot or indeed any money in most cases, to create instructional video. And these videos then can be added to your Canvas Studio library and shared with your students through Canvas Studio and Canvas. You can also pull over into your Canvas Studio library, which you all have, whether you've ever used it or not, videos that are stored on YouTube or Vimeo. Vimeo being another very popular video hosting site on the web. So this gives you access to an astoundingly large collection of instructional video that varies from something produced by a 13-year-old. And I've learned quite a bit from a few videos produced by 13-year-olds on YouTube, because they tend to play with the best toys, and up to world-renowned professors at Berkeley or MIT. YouTube and Vimeo have tremendous library, or tremendous collections of instructional videos in every subject you can imagine, and probably a few you can't. Not only that, but Canvas Studio gives you and your colleagues at the San Diego Community College District the capability to share each other's videos with one another. So if you have a colleague perhaps who teaches the same course that you're creating content for, the two of you can both produce instructional video and share it with one another, so that you can use their videos, they can use your videos. It's done on well, it's quite easy to do, as we'll see here in a few minutes. And it's just it gives you access to that much more instructional video created, if not by you, by people who are teaching at the same level and the same institution as you are. So they're likely to be referencing the same textbooks and the same level of instruction and so on. So that can be a very useful thing if you work with a colleague to produce instructional video. Cuts in half the amount of instructional video each of you have to produce. So those are some things that you might put into your Canvas Studio library. So how do we get them there? How do we get videos into our Canvas Studio? Oh, and another thing about Canvas Studio, you and all your colleagues have access to Canvas Studio. But something I would ask you to keep in mind as we're going through the use of Canvas Studio today is that your students have almost exactly the same access to Canvas Studio that you do. That doesn't mean that they can see your Canvas Studio library. They can't see your videos unless you deliberately share them. But they can produce their own videos. They can find their own videos and put them into Canvas Studio. They can share those videos with each other. They can share them with you. So this makes Canvas Studio an exceptional tool for assignment completion and submission for students. You can assign students to create videos in response to some topic that you have them investigate in your subject matter. And there's nothing like, as we all know, as we've all experienced, there's nothing that enhances learning better than having to explain something to someone else. Many a topic in chemistry when I was a young instructor, I never really understood until I had to lecture on it. Chemical thermodynamics comes to mind right offhand. Until I had to actually figure out how to present those concepts to someone else, I was not what I would call comfortable with those concepts. And so it can be a great learning tool for students to create their videos themselves that explain certain concepts in your course. And you can be really confident once they can do that they have mastered those concepts. So how do you or your students or I add videos to our Canvas Studio libraries? Well, we can add existing videos that we already have the files for. Video today is mostly digital video. It exists in the form of computer files that you may have stored on your hard drive of your computer. You may have them on your smartphone and have to get them from your smartphone, either into Canvas Studio or onto your local computer, so you can put them in Canvas Studio from there. Indeed, Canvas Studio is quite mobile friendly. Not only can anyone watch videos that are stored on Canvas Studio on their smartphone or their tablet, they can also produce video on their smartphone or tablet and upload it directly to Canvas Studio without having to go through a computer. So it really doesn't matter where these video files are stored. You can add them to your Canvas Studio library. So let's see how that's done. Finally get to actually looking at Canvas Studio here. First off, let's see how to get to Canvas Studio. Here's a Oops, let's go back to the dashboard here. Ended up in the wrong place there. Okay, here's my Canvas Studio dashboard. You all have one, or my Canvas Learning Management System dashboard, I should say. And you've all seen this. If you use Canvas, I presume you do, or at least have had some experience with it. Let me know if I'm wrong. Canvas Studio, while not a part of our Canvas Learning Management System, is owned by the same company and is tightly integrated with Canvas. And you access it from the gray bar on the left side of every Canvas screen, the so-called global access menu, for what that's worth. If you scroll down or look down toward near the bottom of that menu, there's a little icon that looks like a rectangle with feet. I'm not quite sure what that is. I think it's a computer or a video monitor, but I don't know what the other stuff is. And underneath it is the word studio. So you can identify this as the icon or the entry point for Canvas Studio. If I click on that icon, I go to my Canvas Studio library. If this is the first time you've used Canvas Studio, you'll just see a little cartoonish graphic that says, hey, let's add some video to Canvas Studio or something like that. Let's put on a show. Your Canvas Studio library is sitting there waiting for you if you've never used it. Otherwise, you'll see the video, a series of thumbnail images or tiles representing the videos that are already in your Canvas Studio library. As near as we can tell, you can put as many videos in your Canvas Studio library as you wish, and they can be as long as you wish. Someday we may find out differently. Up to now, Instructional, the people who own Canvas and Canvas Studio, haven't told us any different. And we've asked them and tried to get and never gotten a straight answer out of them as how much space we have. So we're treating it as unlimited right now. I will be the first one to find out if there is a limit, because I've got more video and I'm using more space on our Canvas Studio storage allocation than anyone else at the district. So I'll be the first one they bust, and I'll let you know. But up to now, we've been totally unlimited. So how do we add video to our Canvas Studio library? Well, the Canvas Studio interface is pretty simple and quite intuitive. I mean, there's not a huge learning curve here. If you look at this, and this is just the first few videos I have on here. I have quite a few, 12 pages of them or more. But if you look at this interface here, it doesn't take you very long to find the buttons in the upper right-hand corner up here. And these are the main controls that you use most of the time in utilizing Canvas Studio. You've got a record button, an add button, and a search button, which allows you to search your Canvas Studio library. And obviously, the button we need for what we're trying to do right now is the add button. This is how we add video to Canvas Studio. If we have video in a file somewhere on our smartphone, our tablet, our computers, hard drive, on a thumb drive, attached to our computer, whatever, this is where we go to actually put video into our Canvas Studio library. So we just click the add button and we get this little dialog box popping up. And we'll talk about the right-hand half of this box in a minute. For now, we're going to focus on the left-hand part here. where it says drag and drop or upload media. There's a couple different ways, and to find the video that you want to place into Canvas Studio. One way is to just browse for files on hard drives or thumb drives or whatever attached to your computer. You can just click the Browse Files button and a File Manager dialog box comes up. I'm on a Windows computer here, so you'll see the File Explorer in Windows. If I were on a Mac, you'd see the Finder. And the Canvas Studio works every bit as well with either type of computer. Doesn't matter whether you have a Mac or a Windows PC, Canvas Studio will be perfectly happy with you. The only problem at this point is to find the video file that we want to upload to Canvas Studio. I've got a ton of them on here, so it can be a little hard, but I'm going to navigate through my File Explorer to the video that I want to just use as an example here. I'm going to pick this one, this folder here labeled Edit Example. I know there's a video in that folder. If I open up that folder, there it is. It happens to be an MPEG-4 video, which it will tell me if I mouse over it, an MP4 file, which is the most common type of digital video file in use today. But it doesn't have to be an MP4 video. It can be just about any common type of digital video file. Your iPhone or your iPad, for instance, will produce files called MOV files or Apple Movie files. Those are fine. You can upload those to Canvas Studio. And there are a few other common file formats, like the one, the format coming off a digital camera is a little bit different, but it'll take those as well. If you ever run into a digital video file that Canvas Studio won't accept, let me know, and hopefully I'll be able to help. You can always email anytime you have questions about Canvas Studio or anything else for that matter. You're more than welcome to contact me at this email address. There's my email address at the district. I'm always happy to hear from you. First thing I do every day is look at my email and see what fun questions people have sent to me. So I'll help, but chances are quite unlikely that you're ever going to try to upload a video file to Canvas Studio that it's not going to accept. To upload this file to Canvas Studio, I just select it, click on it, and click the, whoops, I'm sitting in front of the open button. That's not good. All right, now you can see the open button down here in the lower right-hand corner. Down here, whoop, there it is. I just click open. That's a little misleading. You know, we're not going to open the file, we're going to upload it to Canvas Studio, but the interface won't handle the upload word. So now we see that this file is uploading to Canvas Studio. How long that takes depends upon the size of the file and the speed of your internet connection. You may have to be a little patient, especially if it's a 2-hour-long Zoom recording. But Canvas Studio does a great job of handling huge video files like that. Once the file has uploaded to Canvas Studio, it has to be processed by Canvas Studio. This is something Canvas Studio does by itself. You don't have to do anything to make it happen. What Canvas Studio is doing here is it's giving us this little executive pacifier here to keep us entertained, to let us know it's doing something and not just sitting there, which is good interface design. I don't want us to wonder if we screwed up or something. And it's converting that file from whatever format you uploaded it in to a specific type of MPEG-4 format that is compatible with the Canvas Studio library. And it takes care of all that. This process also varies in terms of the time required. And today, for some reason, I think part of the Canvas Studio infrastructure is offline today because the system is processing videos quite a bit slower than it normally does. And I found that out, luckily I found that out this morning when I was getting ready for today's seminar. And I'm not going to make you wait here until Canvas Studio gets around to finishing the processing of this video, because it may be 20 or 30 minutes. Normally it's just a few, anywhere from a few seconds to, with a 2-hour Zoom recording, it may be half hour, 45 minutes or more before the video is actually ready to has been processed and is ready to access in Canvas Studio. But it's been taking just short little videos like this quite a while today. So I uploaded this video previously so we'd have it to look at. When this process, as this process occurs, eventually a little progress meter will pop up right here. It's probably similar to something you've seen on your phone. A little circle and a little blue line will roll around the circle until it makes its way all the way around the circle. So it gives you some idea of how far along the processing is. For some reason, that's taking quite a while to get to that point today. And as I say, I think part of Canvas Studio is down, but the system is resilient enough and redundant enough that it's still working. It's just working a little slower. This part of it's working a little slower than it normally does. So this is not something you'd expect to have happen. But here's the video that I'm uploading right now, which I uploaded earlier, same video. And this is what you'll see. You'll see a rectangle on the screen in your library display that will have a little piece, a frame of video that it picks out randomly itself to show a little bit about what's in that video. And you'll see the name, the file name of the file that you uploaded. And if you mouse over the rectangle, you'll see this view button. To actually look at the video and listen to it, you click the view button and you get the Canvas Studio player. This is what you and your clients will use, your students, your colleagues will use to play back Canvas Studio videos. A little more on that in a few minutes. To play the video, we have a little play button here.
Hi, everyone. This video is being recorded.
And it's a play pause button. If you click it once, it plays. You click it again, it pauses. You can also use the space bar
On a smartphone.
on your keyboard to play and pause. You can jump ahead in the video by just going to the video player bar here and clicking anywhere along the video. One of my favorite background videos, a drone video of a volcano in Iceland erupting, which I didn't take. I found it on YouTube, as a matter of fact. You have a volume control and a settings button that allows you to change some things like the speed at which the video is playing and the quality of the video. By default, it's the highest that it can manage. And you also have the capability to full screen the video. as will your students or your clients, by clicking on this double-headed arrow here. If I do that, the video goes to full screen and is much more impressive. Though you can see some reduction in quality in some cases, depending on how high the quality of the video was to start with. If you blow it up, you may see a little graininess in the video. You never know until you try. But if you don't like the blown up version, you can just undo that by clicking this button down here again, and you're back to the standard view. So that's all there is to putting a video or uploading a video file and getting it into your Canvas Studio library. And let's see if that one's still, it did finish fairly quickly. So here's another copy of that same video if we need it later. Okay, we can work with either one of them. So that's no way to make that difficult. So if you create a video and you have the file on your hard drive, or if somebody provides you with a video, like on maybe you get a DVD of video resources from your textbook publisher or something like that, and you can copy those files off the DVD onto your hard drive and then upload them to Canvas Studio to share them with your students, as long as the licensing on your publisher's resources allows you to do that. Generally it will. And that's all there is to that.
Hi, Dave. This is Lena.
Lena.
Good
Yes.
afternoon. Okay, so I have a question. I was thinking of getting a video from KPBS, and I think they're permissible to get. Would I have to put it in my hard drive in order to get it on Canvas Studio, or can I do it a different way?
When you say get a video from KPBS, in what form are you going to get that video? Like on a DVD?
Well, I have a DVD, but I was wondering, I've looked into KPBS and they have like free access to the videos.
Right.
I was wondering what's the easiest way to go about it.
Well, there technically it's possible to either rip that video file off the DVD, or in other words, copy it off there, or perhaps download the video from KPBS, though I don't know exactly, I'd have to look at the website to see if that's possible, or even re-record the video from your screen using a tool like the Canvas Studio Screen Recorder. But technically, none of that's very difficult. The problem might arise in terms of copyright.
Oh, I see.
Just because you say you bought the DVD from KPBS, or they've provided it to you so you can watch it on their website, doesn't mean they've given you the right to download it and upload it to your own hosting site.
Oh, I see. I was thinking about that.
You don't ever actually buy a video. When you buy a DVD, what you buy, for instance, is you buy a home use license. It allows you and your immediate family and a small group of friends to watch the video legally. You don't actually own any part of the video. And those license terms are usually quite restrictive. You can usually show that video in a physical classroom with perfectly legally, but putting it online is usually not legal under copyright law.
Okay.
So the safe thing to do in this case, since they've provided free access to that video on their website, is to just link to their website out of Canvas.
Oh, okay.
If it's online publicly for free, if there's no login to get to it, then you can link to it and use it in your course perfectly legally. What you can't do probably is put it into Canvas Studio. Okay, good question.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Dave,
Yes, ma'am.
It's Kathy.
Hey,
I-
Kathy.
I wrote the question in the chat tool, but I'll ask it now. Is there ever a reason for us to change the speed? I can see how you can change all those other settings, but is there ever a reason we might want to change the speed?
If you just want to get through it faster. Sometimes I'm guilty of this, being quite deliberate in my presentation and so on. You've got a limited amount of time. You just want the facts now. You can speed up the video playback by as much as, let's see, how much, I'm trying to remember here. What's the limit on that? Speed can go as fast as double speed.
Okay, so you're not saying that we're changing the speed so when the students see it, you're just saying that we ourselves might want to, like, for instance, if I wanted to put in questions, or I said,
Well, and your students, when they're playing it back later, can do the same thing.
oh, okay. So
And-
it's not like I'm setting the speed to be fast for everyone. Everyone can self-regulate the speed.
That control is controllable, or is controlled by the viewer.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, that's controlled by the viewer. And the Canvas Studio Player is very smart. It adjusts the pitch of voices so that the playback doesn't sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Right.
And transfer it to a computer shortly. And we're done with this test.
So, I mean, it's a little frantic, but it can get you through it a lot faster.
Okay, I understand.
If
So
you're
it's not
watching
like,
it for reasons other than entertainment, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
okay. I thought maybe you wanted to speed it up so that the students, like maybe some computers are slower than others. That's not the reason.
No, they can control their playback speed,
All right, thank you.
and I think they can slow it down as well. Yeah, they can cut it by half as well. If it's going by too fast and they want to have a little more time to think about what you're saying. And again, the player will adjust the pitch of the voice so that it's intelligible. It may sound a little odd, but they can tell what you're saying. Okay, so instructional video in your Canvas Studio library. This is one that I partly, part of it was something I created, and then I tacked on a piece that I got off the internet. So let's see, anything more about this? Not really. All right, let's go back. You can always go back to your library by clicking on there'll be breadcrumb navigation controls up here in the top above the video. So you can hop back and forth, from videos, between videos and so on. You can also bring over videos, as we mentioned earlier, from YouTube or Vimeo, whether yours or someone else's. Why would you do this, since they're already online and already shareable with your students if they're in one of those places? Well, you can bring these videos in and put them somewhere where you don't have to look, so that you don't have to look for them on YouTube or Vimeo in the future when you want to use them. You can have them right at your fingertips in your Canvas Studio library. That's really simple to do. We just click that add button again, and we'll use the right-hand portion of this box that pops up now to pull in videos from YouTube or Vimeo. The only thing we need is the link, the unique URL or Uniform Resource Locator, the web link for that particular video. To get that, we do have to go to YouTube or Vimeo. Let's just go to YouTube here at youtube.com, the third most visited site on the internet, where you can find out how to do anything from baking lemon cookies to growing tomatoes to whatever. I am going to grab one of my videos for a reason we'll see in a moment. I can do that by going to my avatar image up here in the upper right, going to my YouTube studio, and going to my content over here on the left. These are all videos that I have put up on YouTube recently. YouTube is, of course, another option for video hosting that, like Canvas Studio, is free to you. Canvas Studio is free to you because the district is paying quite a bit of money for it. YouTube is free to everyone. And YouTube works fine. Is every bit as good as Canvas Studio, better in some ways. But we all know that there's an awful lot of distractions on YouTube. It's nice to avoid it'd be nice to think the students are watching your instructional videos instead of a cute cat video that they ran across on the way to getting to your video. So let me pull up one here. Let's see. I'm just going to pick one more or less at random. Oh, what about this one? It's only 24 seconds. Won't take long to fiddle with. To get the share URL for this video, I just click on that little thumbnail, and then I have this view on YouTube button here.
And now we're recording.
And if you want to pull any YouTube video over into Canvas Studio, and this doesn't have to be your video, you can pull up the video on YouTube, search for it, find it in whatever way you did the first time you saw it, and go to the share button, which is always found just below the video window in YouTube. And here's the unique link, the unique URL for this YouTube video. I just need to copy it to my operating system clipboard, which I can do in either Windows or Mac OS by just clicking this copy button here. And that tells me it's copied it to my clipboard. Right, that's what I wanted. Now I just go back to Canvas Studio. I click into this YouTube or Vimeo link box here, and I just paste, right click and paste that URL in that box and click add video. And just that fast, bang, there's that video. Well, sort of. What happens when you do this is that the video actually is still on YouTube. And when you click on it and play it, it's playing from YouTube, not from Canvas Studio. This is just a fancy link to a video that's stored on and played from YouTube. But your students can't tell that, and it really doesn't make much difference in most cases to you either, because you can pull it up, you can play it.
And now we're recording. At this point, you would
and you've got all the other settings you had and so on. So it works great. So you can, those YouTube videos that you find, and if you don't get it marked right now, you're going to forget where you found it and never find it again, because they're about I have no earthly idea of how many videos there are on YouTube these days. Trillions, probably. There's tons and tons and tons of them. And finding it again might be problematic. So I can pull it over into Canvas Studio, pull a fancy link or an embed of it over into Canvas Studio, and always be able to find it in my Canvas Studio library. And I can share it with my students from here and things like that. So it's a matter of convenience as much as anything else. And again, so that process is really very, very, very simple. Let's see where we are. We're still on that same PowerPoint slide. We've added YouTube or Vimeo videos. Oh, that was it. So, all there is to it. Let's see here. Just need to check something real quick. Yeah, that's coming up. All right. So we've got the video in our Canvas Studio library. It's ready to share, except for one thing. Anybody want to take a flyer as to what that one thing is?
The subtitles didn't come with you with the YouTube?
Yeah. They've got to be captioned or subtitled before we can use them, so that they're accessible to students with hearing impairment who can't hear the audio. They have to be able to read the captions. There are technical differences between captions and subtitles, but we're just going to treat them as if they're the same thing here today. They don't, those distinctions have very little relevance in our environment. So, yeah, the next thing we've got to do is make sure that the videos are captioned. And this used to be the single biggest impediment to using instructor created instructional video. Because once you went to all the trouble of creating the video and getting all this wisdom that you want to share with your students into a video file, into a video production, then you had the problem of making it accessible to everyone. And that used to take a lot of doing and quite a bit of time. It could take as long as 5 times the run length of the video to create captions and get them applied to the video or get them synced with the video. Thank goodness those days are long gone. Largely thanks to YouTube, who pioneered the technology we're about to see in use here of automatic captioning, where an artificial intelligence algorithm in effect listens to your video, watches and listens your video, listens to your video, converts your speech to text, producing a transcript of the video, a typed up or a text version of what you've said, and then chops the transcript up into bite-sized pieces, and then synchronizes those pieces with the video playback so that when you're saying something, what you're saying appears as a text scroll on the screen, so that your students, your hearing impaired students, or your students perhaps who are not native speakers of English, who read English. We all read new languages way before we process them audibly. So ESL students, or just anyone whose primary language is not English, will vastly benefit from captions in a video. And we are, of course, required to caption any instructional video that we put online or show in the classroom. It has to be captioned. And that's mandated by state and federal statute and by policies both at the state California community colleges level and at the district level. There's just no way around this. But fortunately, now we have these robots that will do all of this for us without us having to expend much, if any, effort at all. These videos can be, and the videos that you upload to Canvas Studio can be auto-captioned. The only drawback to this, the only bit of involvement you have to have in Canvas Studio captioning is you've got to ask Canvas Studio to do it. This is not the case, for instance, with YouTube. YouTube, if you upload a video to YouTube, YouTube captions it automatically. And within a few minutes to an hour or so, the video is captioned and the captions are automatically visible to your viewers. In Canvas Studio, there's a two-step process you have to go through. You have to request the captions, and then you have to go back and look at them and publish them and okay them before they become visible to your viewers, which seems to me a bit of a needless extra bit of work on your part, because all of our videos have to be there's no way we can use a video in Canvas Studio if it's not captioned. I guess somebody somewhere can get away with that, but you can't get away with that in California. So, nor would we want to, because our videos would not be usable by all of our students. So how do we do this? Well, it turns out it's dirt simple. Absolutely the only problem with this is a human problem. Sometimes we forget to go back and do it. Well, I'm speaking for myself. Sometimes I forget to go back and do it. More than once, I've been embarrassed by a situation where I put a video from Canvas Studio online and shared it with someone, only to have them get back to me and say, where are the captions? I said, well, there's captions there. I go back and look and I realize I never checked them and published them or something. So try to avoid having that happen to you. It will sooner or later. So how do we request these captions and then make them visible? Well, let's go to this last video I've uploaded here. View it. Just below the video is this little tab bar here. And on the right-hand end of that tab bar is the word captions. If you click on that, you get the captioning tool. Oops, I picked the wrong one. Sorry. Let's do this edit example here. I click on captions and I get this captions request button or section. All I have to do to get Canvas Studio to caption this video is to tell it what language I was speaking by selecting it from this menu. Note that Canvas Studio will caption videos in a wide variety of languages. Most of the language, many of the languages anyway, spoken or taught at the San Diego Community College District. So if you're, say, a Spanish teacher and you create videos where you speak in Spanish, Canvas Studio will caption them for you in Spanish. But in this case, we need English, so I've selected that. And then I just click the button labeled Request. And the captioning process begins. It runs in the background. You don't have to sit here and wait for it to happen. We can just come back later and check the captions and then make them available to our viewers. That's where the forgetting part comes in. So it's a little dangerous, but it's something we can deal with. So rather than sit here and wait for, and that process will take some time depending on how busy Canvas Studio is. Of course, it also depends on how long the video is. Canvas Studio will send you an email because it knows where you live. It's tightly integrated with Canvas, and your Canvas account has an email address associated with it, so at least one. So Canvas Studio will send an email to that address when the captions are ready. So you at least get a reminder to go back in and check the captions and make them available. If you choose to ignore that at the moment and forget that, then you're on your own, but it will at least remind you once. I'm channeling my own experiences here. All right, so rather than wait for that to happen, I'm just gonna, I think I've got a video down here where I've got some captions that haven't been reviewed and published yet. Yeah, so I just go back into the video. Let me do that again. I just find the video that I've been that I've requested captions for, view the video by just mousing over the rectangle, the tile for that video, click on captions again, and I'll see this little blue button that says, you can pretty much see it. That's a little fuzzy for you, but it says review and publish. So I click that button and voila, there are the captions. This is a 12-second video, so there aren't a lot, there's not a lot of speech, there aren't a lot of captions. Normally there'd be quite a few more than that, but this will illustrate the process. I can take a quick look at them, and usually you can tell very quickly whether the captions are satisfactory or not, just by reading them. But if you want to be more careful about it, you can play the video and watch the captions, and Canvas Studio will highlight each caption in turn as you speak.
All right, this is a little talking head video being created using the Webcam Recorder in Canvas Studio.
Okay, that was nearly perfect. And that's typical of the auto captioning in Canvas Studio. It is exceptionally accurate, but not perfect, because it missed the word canvas here, which is a little strange given that that's the system we're in. But when I see that, I can go down here, I can click into the caption with my mouse, and I can just type in the missing word or correct a word that was misidentified. You won't see that happen very often, but occasionally it will. It's more common with technical terms, jargon in your particular subject matter. If it's something that's not part of the general lexicon, Canvas Studio may have some trouble with it, but it's phenomenally good with all subject matter. So you can very easily correct the captions that need. Now we come to a question, well, do I need to? You'd have to be the judge of that. On a video of modest length, say 10 minutes or less, and the best instructional videos are short, no longer than is needed to cover whatever topic you're trying to cover in the video. If a video needs to be more than 10 minutes, perhaps you might want to consider breaking up the concept into smaller chunks and doing them in shorter videos, because people are much more likely to watch a video that's 5 to 10 minutes long than they are one that's 30 to 40 minutes long, unless there's a considerable incentive. But sometimes you just can't do that. But if the video is, say, 5 or 10 minutes long, it's realistic to go through and correct the captions, or at least look at them and make sure that there aren't any missing words or misidentified words that would make the video difficult to understand for a person who can't hear what you're saying, or can't understand it, either because they're limited, their English skills, or listening skills are limited, or they have certain types of cognitive difficulties that make it difficult for them to process information from audible speech. There are learning disabilities of that sort. So you kind of have to use your judgment. If the video is a lot longer than that, like a 2-hour Zoom recording, you're not going to go through and check all the captions and edit them. That's unrealistic. It's unscalable. It's unsustainable. They'll be good enough. I can pretty much guarantee you that the captions will be good enough for a person who's watching the video who can't hear it to understand what you are trying to get across in the video. So it's a, you know, there has to be a little reality check in that. But the better, the closer the captions are to being perfect, the better, obviously. Once you are satisfied with the captions, which in my case is usually really quick, you then click this button labeled Publish. And very quickly, those captions now become visible to your clients, to your students. To see what that looks like, we'll have to jump back to the library and then jump back into the video again. They don't show up instantly. You have to reload the video. And there in the player bar, there's a new icon that we didn't have before. It's a square with some dots and dashes in it. And if you mouse over it, it says toggle captions on. If you click that and then play the video.
All right, this is a little talking head video being
Captions synchronized with the speech.
created using the Webcam Recorder in Canvas Studio.
And now this video is accessible to just about everyone. And we have captions. You'll note that that was a video that I uploaded into Canvas Studio. Let's take a look at that YouTube video that I just brought over as an example. If I view that one and go to the captions button, there's no option to tell Canvas Studio that this was in English and ask it to caption it. It can't do that because that video is really on YouTube, not in Canvas Studio. This is just a shadow or a copy, not even a copy of it. It's just a link to what's on Canvas or what's on YouTube. And the really frustrating thing about this is that the video on YouTube is captioned. If we play it on YouTube, the captions are there. They're there automatically. I can't stop them from appearing. Well, I could, but I wouldn't want to. While the video comes over, the captions don't. This is probably the single biggest problem with Canvas Studio. What can you do? Well, it depends upon whether the video is yours or not. If it's yours, there's a way to get those captions into Canvas Studio that just doesn't happen automatically. I guess it's probably the interface, the application programming interface, the API for YouTube doesn't allow pulling captions with the video, or the people who wrote Canvas Studio just could never figure out how to get it to work. I don't know. But how can we get the captions to a YouTube video that we put on YouTube into Canvas Studio? Well, we have to go to YouTube, back to that video. This is the video that I see. It's got captions on YouTube, but they didn't come over. So how do we get those captions over into Canvas Studio? Well, we go to this blue button below the video window in YouTube labeled Edit Video. And I'm sitting right in front of it. How do I manage that? If I start talking about something that you can't see, please let me know right away. I would much appreciate it. Just unmute yourself and shout it out. I'll be very grateful. All right, there's the edit video button. If I click on that, it takes me to what's called the video details page for this video. And there's lots of information here, but what we're interested in is over on the left side in this menu on the far left is the word subtitles. Remember, subtitles and captions, basically the same things. So I click on subtitles and I see this display. The bottom line you can ignore in every circumstance. That's just the line that specifies the language in which the video is narrated. That's been taken care of automatically. Then on the next line in this display, you'll see this automatic caption, English automatic. And out here to the right is an option to duplicate and edit. We're not going to worry about the top line. These captions have been edited, and the next line gives you the edited caption. So that's probably where I really want to go. Let me go to English, the English caption track, and edit, and actually not edit. In this case, I want to click on this little options menu right here, the 3 vertical dots. And this gives me the option to download my captions. It asks me what format I want them in. There are a number of caption file format types, a dozen at least I've seen. But there are some more standard ones. I know for a fact that either of the first 2 here will work in Canvas Studio. And the most standard, the most commonly used caption file format is the SRT or subrip, for what it's worth, caption file format. But either of these first 2 is fine. So I'm just going to click on SRT, and YouTube starts the download of the caption file for this video. It by default is going to name it just captions.srt. I'm just going to save that to my downloads folder, because I won't mess with anything there. Save it. And now I have that caption file on my local computer. And you see the little biscuit down here that shows me that that's downloaded. It's a small text file, so it doesn't take any time at all to download. I can click this menu button here and show it in the folder where it's sitting. And that came up on another screen. Let me pull that over. There it is, captions.srt. Just see what that looks like. We can double click on it and open it using a text editor like Notepad. Okay. And here's what the caption file looks like, just out of curiosity. It has time code, which specifies when the caption should be displayed on the screen in the video. Like this starts at 0 time, then it goes to 6.6 seconds and 6 frames, 30 frames a second usually, to 12 seconds and 60 frames. So, and then below that is the actual text of the caption, just in case you wonder what those things look like. You don't have to worry about that. Canvas Studio knows how to deal with this. Okay, now I have this caption file on my hard drive, and I know where it is. So I go back to Studio, Canvas Studio, and I have the right half of this caption tool here, which is functional here. And I just, and this will allow me to upload a caption file that contains the captions for this video. I just specify the language in which the captions are typed. And no, you can't have it translate from one to the other, not in Canvas Studio. YouTube will do that, but Canvas Studio will not. So we're going to upload English captions. And I just have to find that file in my downloads folder. There it is. Just downloaded that. I hope that's the right one. 3:14 p.m. on 8/2. That's us. And click open once again. Now you can see that. And just that fast, bang, it says, okay, I've got English captions. Let's see if we do.
And now we're recording. At this point, you would say whatever you wish to say to your students or to your audience, whomever they might be.
That's all there is to it. This begs the question of what you do if it's not your YouTube video. And the party line here is that basically if it's not your video, you probably want to link to it directly at YouTube rather than bringing it over into Canvas Studio and linking to it from there. Because if you link to it out of Canvas on YouTube, the captions are there. Okay, so let's get back to our slide here. We've talked about captions from YouTube and Vimeo, not transferring. And you can't auto caption them. But you can transfer your YouTube captions if you put the video on to YouTube. So that's pretty much caption. And now we're done with the most important part of the session here. How you get video onto Canvas Studio and get it accessible. I'm going to come back to this in a minute because I want to spend some more time on the next slide, which is sharing your videos that you put in Canvas Studio. This is the next part of the process. You have these videos stored in your Canvas Studio library, but no one else can play them. Nobody has access to your Canvas Studio library but you. So how do you share these with your students? Typically, you're going to share in Canvas or through Canvas. You're going to put a link into Canvas, the Canvas LMS, the learning management system, that students can click on and have the video pop up and allow them to play it. There's a couple of different ways to do that in Canvas. Let's see how that works. I'll log into Canvas rather than Canvas Studio. And I've got a Canvas Studio Sandbox course here I can use to illustrate this process. And I've made a couple of, let me get rid of these. These were earlier, I was practicing earlier with these. Okay, here I've got a blank module now, a Canvas module into which I can put links to these video or ways to access the videos that I have in Canvas Studio. I do that as I would with any module, or anytime I want to add something to a module, I click the add item button, the plus sign for the module in Canvas. This is how we share content in Canvas, through Canvas modules. And I have this item type menu here that I can open by clicking on it. And these are the different types of content links that I can put into a Canvas module. And the one I need for Canvas Studio videos is the last one, the external tool. If we click on that, we're given a list of external tools that our Canvas learning management system has access to. And there's a bunch of them. Carnegie Math Pathways, and let's see, McGraw-Hill and Macmillan and Publishers Resources, just all sorts of stuff. YouTube, we can pull YouTube videos this way, but the one we're interested in today is usually near the top of the list, Canvas Studio. So to link a Canvas Studio video into a Canvas module, I add an external tool and I select Canvas Studio. When I do that, it pulls up a compressed version of my Canvas Studio library. You better hope that it's not too far down the list here. Let's find, here's that one we were playing with earlier. To put a Canvas Studio video into Canvas, I just select the video that I want. I'm given a couple of options that I can choose between, or that I can select. One option says display media tabs, and that's usually on by default, as you see it here. Green is on. What this will do is give students the capability to comment on this video. And that can be a very useful communication tool. That turns a Canvas Studio video into a sort of a mini discussion board. And students can be watching the video and something can come up and they can pause the video and write a comment about what they've just seen. And that comment will then be available to other people who play the video. And they can go back and forth and talk about what they saw in the video. You may or may not want that going on with your videos. If you don't, you just turn off display media tabs. It does produce a cleaner embed into Canvas. There's also an option to display a download option. If you turn this on by just clicking on it, your students can download the video file from Canvas Studio and have their own copy of it. Usually that's something you don't want them to do, unless maybe you're teaching a course in video editing or something and you want them to be able to have the video file to work on. But usually you don't want them to do that. So that removes that option, or ensures that they can't download the video from Canvas Studio, which is, again, usually what you want. Once you've selected among those options, you then just click this button labeled Embed, which I'm sort of out of the way of there. That takes you back to the previous page. And then there's let's see, myself out of the way again here. Then there's an add item button. If you click that, that adds the link to your Canvas module. Somewhat problematically, that link is always labeled just Canvas Studio. So if you put a couple of different Canvas Studio videos in here, they're all going to be named the same thing, and it's not very helpful. You can always edit the name of a link in your module, however, by going to the context menu at the right, selecting Edit, and we'll Canvas, I'm just going to call this Canvas Studio video link example, and update that. So now it makes a little more sense. Now, if a student comes along, and if this video is published, or if the link is published, the student can come along, click on that link, and bada bing, there's the Canvas Studio video. They can play it.
Recording.
I can turn on the
It's not easy,
captions,
It's recording. It's recording
he said.
what you see here in the output window. And if I change scenes. That was a scene a few days ago.
The captions display at the top in a Canvas Studio video. Usually you see them at the bottom of the screen by default, but not in Canvas Studio.
Here, it's a little less than that now. Here, I'm back to my,
So Dave,
Yes, go ahead.
on that part where you said the embedding, it's the default was that it's made so that students could comment.
Correct.
But if you don't want them commenting, you should turn it off.
Correct.
Because I think I may accidentally have left some on, but there's like when you leave it on accidentally, it does leave some kind of little something at the bottom now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think students wrote any comments because I don't think they knew how, but
Right. It's not the end of the world either way.
okay. But be aware that it's the default, it's on. So
The default is to have the comment function on, because that's one of the nice capabilities in Canvas Studio. And they would like you to use that.
all right, but most of us would want it off.
But you can choose not to.
Okay.
Okay, so the student can watch this, they can full screen it, and so on. So that's one way to share those videos with students in Canvas. Another way to do it, perhaps more flexibly, is to add a Canvas page to the module in Canvas. We'll create a page in the usual way and name it. I'm going to call this a Canvas Studio video page, just to distinguish it from the other link. Add the item to the. Okay, well, gee, that seemed easy. There's got to be something missing there, right? If I click on this link here, I see that that's just a blank page, a blank Canvas page. How can I get the video into it? Well, I use the edit button up here. I edit the page, and that brings up the rich content editor, Canvas's ubiquitous content editor. And I can do, I can add any kind of content here, just about. I can type something about this. This is a Canvas Studio video. I could write reams of information about this video before or after the video in the page. I could, add anything that I can add to this Canvas page using the rich content editor, which is just about anything you can think of. Very powerful editor. But to get the Canvas Studio video into this page, I go to this icon in the Canvas Studio, in the rich content editor icon bar, which if I mouse over it there for a second and hold for a second, you see that that's the apps button, the little electric cord icon, which allows us to embed something from an external tool into the rich content editor. I click the little down caret to open the menu, and I can view all of the things that I can embed content from using this tool. And one of those sites is Canvas Studio. Select Canvas Studio, and again I see the my Canvas Studio library. I just find the video that I want to embed. That's the one we were playing with. I select it. I choose whether to display media tabs or not, and whether to display a download option, and then click embed. And now an embed image, basically the first frame or a frame from the video, appears. I can add more content below the video if I like, or I can just save and publish the video so that it will be visible to students. And now, if I go back to my module and I click, I or a student, click on this link, up comes that page, and they can play it from here. They can full screen it, all the stuff they could do before. So that's the two commonly used ways to display information, display Canvas Studio videos in the in Canvas. The videos remain on Canvas Studio. They don't count against your storage space that you have in your Canvas course or anything like that. They are on Canvas Studio, but it's seamless for the students to play them from within Canvas. The students don't know where or care where they are. They can just play the video when they need to. And that's about that. So there is an app embed in Canvas Pages is what we just did. There's another consequence to this here that I'd like to point out. Anywhere that you get the rich content editor in Canvas, you can embed a video into a Canvas page or into another Canvas document, like a discussion post or a Canvas announcement or a Canvas assignment or a Canvas test question. So you can embed Canvas Studio videos, you or your students can embed Canvas Studio videos in any of these Canvas documents. So that gives you considerable capability in terms of a discussion topic in Canvas. Those aren't limited to text, because when you're creating a post in a discussion topic in Canvas, you get the full rich content editor to work with. And so do your students. So they can embed a video that they have in the Canvas Studio library right into a discussion post and turn a Canvas discussion topic into a video chat or a video discussion board, which has considerable instructional implications. And finally, it is also possible to share videos with colleagues. I mentioned this briefly before. How do we do that? It's dirt simple. If you go to Canvas Studio and pull up a video, if you want to share it with a colleague, you can go to this share button in the upper right-hand corner here and select, or this menu button, I should say, and select from that menu, share. And you can share with people is the default. You can decide whether the people can view the video or can edit it. That is, make their own copy of it and do what they will with it. You can determine what level of access the person you're going to share with. And then you just start typing the name of the person you want to share with. Now, this person has to have a Canvas account, but who among us does not? So if I just type Kathy, I get lots of Kathys. There's Kathy James, who I happen to know is with us, or was a minute ago. There she is.
I'm there, yeah.
So if I want to share this video with Kathy, I just select Kathy. And she is, I've shared it with her, and I can change my mind about the level of access she has if I like. And then I just update that. And now if Kathy goes to this little menu button in the upper left that we haven't talked about yet, and clicks on it and selects shared with me, she'll see that video in her shared videos. These are a couple of videos that faculty have shared with me when they wanted me to help them with something. And you can share freely with any of your colleagues. You could share them with your students who also have Canvas Studio libraries, but that's a very awkward or inefficient way to share videos with your students, because you have to share it manually, individually with each student in turn, rather than putting a link in Canvas and they can all get to it. So
And the reason that you give us, and the reason you give us editing part is that we may not want to show the entire video to our students. You might want to cut out parts.
Right. Or you may want to download it and do something with it and add it into a production of your own.
Right.
You can't do that unless you get that can edit permission. So I usually, I don't care. I just let people do whatever they want with my videos. Let's see, anything else here I want to talk about? Yeah, also, there's this course media section of that menu. And as you share videos in Canvas, in a particular Canvas course, Canvas keeps track of which courses you shared that video in. So if you want to remember, oh, geez, what videos have I shared in my Canvas Studio demo course, you can click on that and it'll show you all the videos that you have shared in that course. So if did I put that video in that course? Well, you can check it very quickly here. So that's a useful little thing that you don't use that often, but it is handy. And then when I want to go back to my library, I just click my library and I'm back where we've been working all along.
Dave, I never noticed that analytics was there. Why would someone want analytics there? To see how many students watched the video?
Right. You can see. This is actually, I take that back. I can see this because I'm an administrator. You won't, I don't think you'll see that. Okay, because this shows system-wide the usage on the system.
So we don't have that. I didn't, that's probably why I never saw it before.
No, I don't believe you have that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm presenting here as a system administrator. All right, let's see. We can also share a video via public links. In other words, outside of Canvas. You do that by going to your your menu here, your share menu, and you select the links tab. And you have to create these public links. They don't get created automatically. I don't know why. But when you ask for them, you get both a basic link and an embed code, which is another topic we'll go into in another seminar. But this link is usually what you'd want. And if you want to, say, put that in an email to someone so that they can view it, even if they don't have a Canvas account, you can just highlight that, click and drag over it, highlight it, copy it to your clipboard, and then paste it into an email. And the recipient of that email will be able to click on that link and view the video outside of Canvas. But normally, with your students, you're going to share your videos through Canvas. It's much more functional to do it that way. All right, creating videos in Canvas Studio. Very often we'll create videos outside of Canvas Studio, or we'll pull them from YouTube, and then we'll just upload them into Canvas Studio, as we've been doing. But Canvas Studio does have reasonably good creation tools. There is in the interface a record button. which gives you both a webcam recorder and a screencast recorder. We'll see the difference between the two. And the screen recorder is a bit more complicated than the webcam recorder. So let's look at the webcam recorder first. Go back to our library. Here's the record button in the upper right. It's hard to miss. You click on that and you get the option to record either screen capture or webcam capture. Webcam capture is going to record whatever your webcam sees as a motion video. The most common use is a talking head video where you're speaking to your students and giving them some information or encouragement or whatever. Though you can point a webcam at anything you like and record what the webcam sees. If I select webcam capture, it goes looking for my webcam. I've got a bunch of cameras attached to this computer. Usually you just see your webcam image, whatever your webcam is seeing right away. I have to select a particular webcam to make this work. There we go. That's my little HP webcam. So it gives me a preview of what the webcam is seeing. And as I speak, you see this little blue bar bouncing across the screen. That indicates that the recorder is hearing you, that your microphone is connected and working. If you don't see that bouncing blue bar, click where it says mic, M-I-C here, and look for the actual microphone. You won't hopefully have that many sources. I'm going to pick my main microphone here. Okay, there we go. See, it's bouncing harder, so it's a better microphone. And once you see all that, you're ready to record. You just click the start recording button. It counts you down. Hi, everyone. I'm your instructor in this seminar. I'm the guy you've been listening to all this time. So nice to have you today. Thanks so much for coming. Can't believe there's still so many of you here after all this time. We'll move right on and learn a little bit more about Canvas Studio. Here we go. Then you click Finish. You can play the video back.
Hi, everyone. I'm your
If ever you don't usually play the whole thing, you just play enough of it to ensure that it recorded. And then you just save the media. You click Save Media, and that puts it in your Canvas Studio library. Usually quite quickly. It has to go through the same upload and processing process. Looks like Canvas Studio's regaining its speed here. That's good. And now you have that video. You can do anything you like with it. You can caption it, he said. Oh, it hasn't finished processing yet. This is the process meter here, which is still running a little slow, so I'm not going to wait for that. We know what to do with that video once we get it into Canvas Studio now. So let's look instead, there it's ready. Instead, let's look at the screen recorder. This is a little more complicated. And quite frankly, this is not the best way I know to create screen recordings. Now, what we're going to create here is a full motion recording of whatever's happening on your computer screen at the time you record, along with your voice. We're going to record the screen motion, the screen images and motion, and your voice, called screencasting. This is not the best screencasting tool around. It's a little bit flaky. It's not as functional as some. I just use Zoom usually, or another program called Snagit to do my screencasts, but this one works fine. If I click on it, it asks me to open the screen recorder launcher. That assumes I've done this at least once before. This is what you'll see. But I'm going to wait a second here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like if this is the first time you've tried to use the screen recorder. If it is, you get this, let's see, I can't move that. You get this download. You can't, this box is in front of that and I can't get rid of it. Yeah, I can. There we go. It tells you to download and install the application and continue, and then relaunch screen capture and proceed. Right there. So if this were the first time I had done this, I'd click the download button here and go through a very simple process. I can't show you without messing up my screen recorder right now, but I'm just going to cancel out of this. But this is what will happen the first time you try to use this. Otherwise, I'll just click record screen capture and immediately click open screen recorder launcher. And wait a second. It takes a little while to get ready. And this recorder, and sometimes it gorks. And usually it'll, after a second, it'll go ahead. There. But you can't see that because I've got it on the wrong screen. Shoot. Let me see here. I am going to show you this by sharing my Zoom screen. That's the safe way to do it. There we go. This is what the screen recorder looks like over here on the left, this black square. First thing I need to do is bring up whatever I want to record. How about, what did I say I was going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to show you Clipchamp real quick, which is another new toy. I just want a web browser here, so I want to bring up a new web browser window. Okay. And the recorder is going to record whatever I see here and whatever I say. I have the option to record just the screen, just my webcam. This is an alternate webcam recorder, or both at the same time. Let's do that. And I see my little video image down here. Actually, we're going to get me twice, I think. Oh, well. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's just do the screen. All right. And we got to decide how much of the screen we're going to record. We can record just a portion of it if we like. My strong recommendation is to make sure that you record full screen so you get everything. So you don't have to worry about whether something falls outside the rectangle of screen space that you intended to record. You want to make sure it's hearing you. Excuse me, it's hearing you. And those green bars bouncing around indicate that it is. If you don't see that, you can find your microphones, just as we did in the webcam recorder. There we go. You select the microphone you want to use. And make sure that you see those green bars bouncing. You can also record sounds made by the computer. So let's say you were going to play a video during the screen recording. You'd want to be sure to turn on your computer audio so that your students would hear the video. But there are downsides to doing that if you're not going to do something like play a video, or if you don't need to record computer sounds, better leave it off. And now, finally, you have this record button in the lower left-hand corner, and you're ready to record. To start your recording, you just click that red button labeled REC. Red buttons in video applications always mean record. So we click the record button, counts you down, and now we're recording. Okay, I'm going to show you Clipchamp real quick. Clipchamp is a free video editor from Microsoft at clipchamp.com. Doesn't require installing anything. You don't have to pay for it. You just type Clipchamp. It works best in Chrome, which I'm using here as a web browser. So I just go to clipchamp.com in Chrome and I log in. The first time I log in, I have to connect my Microsoft account to it, but I've already done that. Here's Clipchamp. To get started with Clipchamp, I just click Create a Video. I can load videos into Clipchamp by just dragging and dropping them. Let's see, I've got a Clipchamp video. Let's see. Got a little folder here somewhere. Oh, these will do. Okay, so I can just bring over a window where I've in my file manager where I've found these videos, and I can just drag them and drop them. He said, "Why did it not let me do that?" Huh? I'm not sure why it's not letting me do that. Just sworn that worked before. Well, I can just browse for those files. Oh, I know. I was trying to drag them the wrong place. Too many crickets. There. Now you can see those. Now I can just drag these into Clipchamp. And let's see. Where did Okay. Too many screens. All right. I've got the videos in Clipchamp. Let's say I want to knit those videos together. I can just click and drag them down onto the Clipchamp timeline here. One after the other in the order I want them to play. Make sure they're right next to one another.
The following video will show you how to.
Oh, I don't think I shared my audio. Let me make sure I did that. Share sound. Okay, now I am. Activate new quizzes in your Canvas course. Well, these two don't really have anything to do with one another, but here we are. So I knitted two videos together. I can cut a piece out by just cutting the video here, clicking on that little piece of video that I don't want anymore, hitting the delete key on the keyboard, and then heal the video up by just dragging the clip over. And this video editor will work even with extremely large video files, like 2-hour Zoom recordings. I checked that out before I started getting excited about it. And this is all completely free, and it works just as well on a Macintosh as it does on a Windows PC. When I'm done, and there's some other things I can add and do here, but when I'm done with the editing project, I can export the edited video in whatever quality I like. Why not full quality HD? And Clipchamp renders it, it combines the two videos, puts in the edits that you've selected, and creates a new video and saves that to your local hard drive. You can also automatically upload it to Google Drive, YouTube, TikTok, OneDrive, Dropbox, Pinterest, Box, or LinkedIn. But what we can do with it is the default name of the video is Untitled Video, made with Clipchamp. So I'm just going to call this Clipchamp example 8/2/2022. So, and save that to my downloads folder, or I could save it wherever I like. And now I can go, I can find that video in my file manager. It was in my downloads folder. There it is. I can play it. The following video will show you how to activate. And there it is. State Park in southwestern Montana, where the Jefferson River on the left. I have lost track of the number of times where people have asked me, well, can I edit my videos? Can I edit my Zoom recordings? You can in Clipchamp, and you can do it really easily. And we have a tutorial online to show you how to do that. Okay, remember, I've been recording all this. Now to stop this, and I'm still sharing with you. I just need to bring that back up here, the recorder back up. Let's see. It's gotten a little hinky about that. Let's see, we'll get that back up here. And there is a pause button. There should be one here somewhere. Where'd that sucker go? There it is. I paused it by clicking on this little link in my taskbar down here. And the video is paused. I could start up again and record more, or I can just say I'm done. And it gives me a preview of the video. And now we're recording. Okay, I'm going to. And if everything looks fine, I just give the video a title. This is screen recorder example 8/2/2022, and upload it to Canvas Studio. Bigger the video, longer you've recorded, the longer this takes. Usually it's pretty quick. First Canvas Studio, or first the recorder compresses the video and then uploads it to Canvas Studio. It will appear in your Canvas Studio library in the usual way, and then you can do with it whatever you like. You share it in Canvas, you can share it with a colleague, you can caption, of course. You need to caption it. You need to request the captions, I should say. And then you can use it as you would any other video that you uploaded into your Canvas Studio library. We just have to wait on that to happen. Almost done. Ta, 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 ta. Now it's uploading. It finished processing. Now it's uploading it. That goes a lot faster, and we get this upload successful message. So we continue. And if we go back to our Canvas Studio library, there it is. No. Hi, everyone. Nope, hadn't hit yet. There it is. Took it a minute to hit. It's processing now. It has to process just as the other videos we uploaded did. This is our screen recorder example. And in a moment, we're going to see that screen recording here just as we did all of our other videos that we've loaded in the Canvas Studio. We can share it the same way. We can use it the same way as any of the others. So that is how those last two examples show how we can create content in Canvas Studio. There it is. Well, almost. It's almost finished. There's that progress meter we talked about. Now it's finished. And now we're recording. Okay. So that now I can share with anybody anywhere in the ways that we've already seen. I can request the captions and treat it as we would any other video that's in our Canvas Studio library. I will just mention that there is in that screen recorder tool a built-in video editor, but it is kind of glitchy, very idiosyncratic interface, much different than most video editors. And it has some real limitations, among which is the fact that you can't edit a 2-hour-long Zoom recording in it because it doesn't have the muscle to do that. So I'm at the point where I'm recommending to people who want to edit their videos, edit them in Clipchamp before they put them into Canvas Studio. And that's what I wanted to share with you today about Canvas Studio. You've had some good questions already. Let me check the chat tool here to see if there's anything that, let's see. Let's see. Oh, wow, looks easy. Yeah, it does. Clipchamp is, I think Lena, I think you're referring to Clipchamp. It is super easy and completely free. And all you have to do to get it is to go to, let's see, let me kill my share here. I don't need that anymore. Is to go to clipchamp.com. Just type that in the location line on your web browser, press enter, and click try for free. And don't be put off by that try. Everything I showed you doing in Clipchamp, you can do in the free version of Clipchamp. They want you to pay them money for certain enhancements to Clipchamp, including being able to store your videos in the cloud and things like that, but you don't need that to use Clipchamp. So my recommendation is to just use it free. That's what I'm doing. I think they want $10 a month for the first level of enhancement or something. And gee, I'd rather spend that on, that's 2/3 of HBO each month. I get a lot more fun out of HBO than I would out of the enhancements to Clipchamp because the free version works fine. And once you get set up with a Clipchamp account, you do have to log in to Clipchamp to use it. But notice I went right in because I linked, it takes you through the process of linking your Microsoft account to Clipchamp so that you can just use it in Windows or on the Mac. Again, this works just as well on the Mac as it does on the PC. We have a tutorial on our Open On Demand site at SDCCD.org. Which is, of course, where we put our workshop archives as well. The recording of this session will be under workshop archives in a couple of days or sooner. This is the most recent seminar we've done before today. So it'll be in the upper left-hand corner for a while. But to find the Clipchamp tutorial, you can just search for Clipchamp. And here it is, editing video with Clipchamp. So this will take you through the process of using the basics of Clipchamp. It's a pretty basic editor. It won't do everything that something like Camtasia or Final Cut Pro, for goodness sakes, or something like that would do, but it'll do the vast majority of editing that you would need to do in an instructional video. And you know, it's still nice to have something more powerful in the way of an editor, like Camtasia is the one I love. And it's not only powerful, but it's easy to learn to use. But it's not as simple as Clipchamp. And to do quick and easy edits, Clipchamp's probably every bit as good and a lot quicker and a lot cheaper, because Camtasia will run you a couple $100, where this is completely free if you stick with the free version. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to do a more detailed Clipchamp seminar sometime either this month or next. I'm trying to work it in right now on the list, but I'm really pretty excited about this. And those of you who use Macs as well will find it, even though it comes from Microsoft, it works just fine on the Mac. Okay. Let's see, anything else in chat? I think that's got it. Anybody have any other questions? Let's go with questions about Canvas Studio first. We get those out of the way, then I'll answer questions about anything you might have.
Dave?
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, my question I think could be answered by Clipchamp. For instance, I sometimes videotape here, so you can, looks kind of rude not to see my face while I'm asking a question.
There you are.
All right. So sometimes I like to tape a lecture or something, and it's something I think I would like to share with other classes. But
Right.
if the students haven't given their permission, you can't do that. So I've been trying to like edit out, like some students give permission and some don't. And I have Camtasia, but I think I get confused with the because I keep getting a double sound. I think I've mentioned it to you once before. I get an echo sound where I've either had a DVD, and it's kind of confusing. But it seemed
probably
like,
yeah, you're recording computer audio, which you don't want to do.
yeah, but it seemed like in your Clipchamp, unless it was under the Canvas Studio, but it looked like in Clipchamp, it made it easy to see that there was narration on the top, and then there was something that said computer audio.
Right.
And it looked like the default was computer audio was muted.
Right. That was in the Canvas Studio screen recorder.
Okay, so that was Canvas Studio.
That was Canvas Studio.
Because that seemed to me that looked as if.
Yeah. You have to be careful with the Camtasia recorder to turn off computer audio if you want to avoid that echo effect. If you're playing a video, for instance, you'll get that echo effect. So
and if I do Zoom, I get confused too. But it looked like, so it was Canvas Studio because that looked as if narration is if I'm talking now, and computer audio is if like I had a DVD, like if I
comes out of your speakers.
What comes out of speakers in the computer itself. Like if I taped a group of students and then I'm playing it on the computer and I'm saying, I need to edit that. That's the computer audio.
What will happen is if you're recording computer sound while you're recording Camtasia and you play a video or something, the computer sound is recorded internally, but then it also plays through your speakers and goes into your microphone. And there's a little delay when that happens, so you hear an echo.
All right. But
the other thing you can do is just mute your speakers when you're playing a video in a recording. If you record computer sound, even if you've muted your speakers, Camtasia will record the computer sound, they record the video soundtrack, but you won't get that echo because it's also coming out and going into your microphone and being recorded that way.
Okay, but if I play what's on the video on Canvas Studio, because you see it's Canvas Studio, not Clipchamp.
You just turn off computer. You can turn off computer sound in Camtasia as well.
Yeah, but it's hard to figure out which one is that's.
Oh, it's let's see.
Whereas that one, it looked really clear. It's like it pops up and you could see that
It
it
is.
has
It's
computer audio.
very clear. Yeah, it's a little harder to see it in Camtasia.
Yeah, where that one I
Sure.
thought that might be easier because it's clear. It says
The
computer audio.
Camtasia recorder, which I've got coming up here somewhere, I think. There it is. In the Camtasia recorder, if I go to new project. Oh, and by the way, Clipchamp has its own recorder, webcam recorder, and screen recorder, just like Canvas Studio and just like Camtasia. Here's the Camtasia recorder, or here's the Camtasia interface. Here's the recorder. Get over there. And here's system audio. Just make sure that's computer sound. Just make sure that's turned off.
System audio is computer audio.
Right. Just make sure that's turned off. And you don't see any little bars there or whatever.
Okay, but the speaker I do want bouncing.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean the microphone
Just make sure that's
icon.
And you're good. The
Mine
digital
doesn't
audio
pop
is
up
your
like that.
microphone.
I don't think mine pops up. I have the version 8. I don't know if mine
So
pops up like
you
that.
should be able to avoid that problem. But you're right. The Canvas Studio screen recorder is very straightforward.
Okay.
But so is the one in Clipchamp. And then you get this for free. You can
So if I-
record both your screen and the camera.
So if
or-
I don't want to say
yeah,
anything, I just
just
want it
your
from the
screen.
computer, I turn narration off.
And I haven't tried the text to speech. I think it will read a document for you. I haven't tried that yet. That's a new feature I haven't dealt with yet. But this thing is amazing. Oops, what I meant to do. It's really got an amazing set of capabilities for free. No telling how long they'll leave it completely free. I think when you if it use the free version, if you export, you made a little watermark in the corner or something like that, a branding thing which talks about made
then
by
we,
Clipchamp or something like that, but that's no big deal.
but we can
So,
still close
I'm
captioning,
really quite excited about this.
and then we can
It's the
close
first
captioning.
really, really simple, really, really free video editor that I have run across that has the capability to handle heavyweight videos like our own Zoom recordings, which we're always you record a Zoom class and a student accidentally identifies themselves or something. You need to cut that piece out.
Right.
You can do that with Clipchamp. I think it's even got a blur tool, if I remember correctly. Though I have not tried to use that yet. Let's see, text stock. I don't see it right now. I may be misremembering that. I'm still learning about it myself. But even if it didn't have that, it is still really, really, really handy. Because you can still use your Zoom recordings with the same class without having to worry about that sort of thing. But if you want to repurpose a Zoom recording to use in another class or in a future semester, you have to remove all personal identifying information.
Yeah, that takes forever.
And students in it. You can't see them, you can't hear them, they can't be seen, they can't be heard, or they can't be any way for someone to identify that a particular student was enrolled in that course. That violates FERPA. So it makes it difficult to use a Zoom class session recording in a future semester. But with Camtasia, at least, you can cut all that stuff out. And I think you may be able to do that with Clipchamp too, but I'm not absolutely certain about that yet.
Okay. And when you said log on with your Microsoft account,
I
is
think
that
I
office.com?
more than answered that question. Do you have another?
No, and when you said log on with your Microsoft account, did you mean like
Whoops.
office.com?
Oh, excuse me just a second, Kathy. I accidentally muted my video or my audio.
Oh.
Okay, now I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay. And when you said log on with your Microsoft account, do you mean like office.com or?
You know, your Microsoft account, which is which you have if you have a Windows computer, you have to have a Microsoft account to log into the computer and so on. You can get one for free. Not to worry, the Clipchamp will walk you through that process.
Okay.
You just go to the website. Yeah, my files aren't synced to the cloud. I don't want them to be.
Me neither.
They're trying to sell me that $10 a month subscription. Don't show me that again. I don't care. Continue without sync. Okay, here, when you first go to clipchamp.com to the website, he said, come on. Yeah. You click this try for free button.
Yeah.
And that just takes me right to my Clipchamp homepage here because I've already set up my account. But if you click that try it for free button, it will walk you through the process of actually you can use your Microsoft account. I think you use your Facebook account as well. Or there's a couple other options. You can set up your Clipchamp account in a variety of ways. And it will walk you through that by the hand. I can't show you that right now because
But it'll pop up. I mean,
it knows who I am. It just takes me to my homepage. But what I
it will pop up when I do it though. Since
it'll when you click try it for free, it will walk you through the process of setting up your Clipchamp account and making it possible for you to access Clipchamp cleanly in the future.
And no syncing. That's the key.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
And you can start using it immediately.
Oh.
Okay. Any other questions about anything at this point? Robert, Carlin?
Nothing from me.
There
Thanks,
I am.
David.
There I am. I'm here finally.
Okay. Thank you, Robert.
Now, if Robert needs to ask, go ahead. Mine's a different subject about Zoom.
No, Robert passed his token, if you will, to you. So go right ahead.
Okay.
Is that Carlin?
Yeah, it's Carlin. Hi, Kathy.
I
I was listening, but I was doing some other stuff. So it minimized your window. And then when I tried to open it up, it wouldn't let me using the bottom. Okay. On the 11th, I am, hopefully if it gets approved, I am conducting a flex activity.
Great.
Okay. Now I'm going to do it on Zoom.
Right.
I've done it before, but not for a year. In my Zoom account, I have a personal Zoom.
Personal meeting room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But what I don't get is when I tried to send a link to a friend of mine to test how to share screen and everything, that isn't the one that shows up. It creates one.
It created a new one.
Yeah.
And you ended up in one room and your friend ended up in the other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Zoom's #1 mess up. It's #1 point of failure. Here's how to avoid that. Let's go to the Zoom website. It's zoom.us is all you need to remember. And go to your account. If you're already signed in, it'll say my account here.
Right.
If you're not, if I log out.
And you know how I can tell I'm signed in?
How?
see my picture up there with my smiley
Oh, yeah,
face?
you'll see your picture up there.
Yeah,
And now
otherwise
this,
it just has my
this
name.
picture up here tells me I'm signed into Chrome, not into Zoom.
Uh-huh.
So, but you can just log out and log in, sign in with your account credentials. Yours will be your district email,
Email, yeah.
and sign in and password. And you should probably be dropped into the meetings page over here by default. But if not, you can go to meetings by clicking on meetings in the left menu here. And here is your personal Zoom room, which occasionally their selection of a cute name for this tool provides connotation that maybe they didn't include, didn't intend. But this is your personal Zoom room. Whee! Okay, you click where it says personal room, and you will see an invite link. This invite link never
Wait,
changed.
where is it?
Uh,
Oh, there it is.
there it
Okay, I
is.
see it.
Now let me blow it up a little more.
No, I can see it.
There you go. There's your invite link. I have my long story. I had to put when I first started this, I had to put a password on my personal meeting room because I didn't have
Right.
any other option when we first migrated. And then I had to choose an option in Zoom that embeds the password into the invite link so that people don't have to enter a password when they come in.
Yeah,
And I got started that way, and now I'm afraid to change because there'll be people who are trying to use this link from a previous email and they won't be able to get in. So anyway, that's why my link is complicated. Usually it's much simpler than that. But you just copy that and send that in an email or however you wish to your friend who's going to work with you. And they click on that link and you start the meeting in your personal room by going down to the bottom of the screen. And if you're not already in a meeting, this blue button here will say start instead of join now.
okay, now wait, let's back up. I send that link to them,
Right.
and that's the link I put on my Flex activity application.
Exactly.
Does that work as good as sending them out as an invite?
Yes.
Okay,
Better. It's simpler.
all right. Now, the next thing, do I go ahead and schedule the meeting?
Yeah, you probably want to you can schedule it in advance through Zoom. You don't have to. If you
No, I want to, because I want it all set up for
Gotcha.
the 11th.
So
The
you
meeting
just go-
starts at 1. I want it started at 12:30.
Gotcha. So you can just go to the meetings link here and you're on the Zoom website and click this button here, which says schedule a meeting.
Yeah, but we did that today,
Ah,
and
there's an option you missed.
yeah,
You've seen all this except for this meeting ID option here. You have two options. You can either generate it automatically, which means every meeting has a different link,
oh,
or you can use your personal meeting ID.
yep, that's the step we missed.
And that will ensure that you are in your personal room when the meeting starts and everybody else is in, since you sent them the link to your personal room, they will be in there too. There are things you can do to make it very, very unlikely that what you experienced with your friend will ever happen again. To do that, you can go to your account settings at zoom.us and scroll down not too far to the schedule meeting section. And I like to allow participants to join before hosts. So if they get in early, they can talk to one another, but that's up to you. That's not necessary.
Okay,
Then you want to make sure your personal meeting ID is enabled, that's turned on. So you have your personal room, but it sounds like you do already have that set. Then you select use personal meeting ID when scheduling a meeting. Turn that on. That means by default, when you schedule the meeting, that option to use your personal meeting room will be selected. If you don't turn that on, the default option is to generate the meeting ID automatically, and you get people in 2 different rooms. So turn this on, use personal meeting ID when scheduling a meeting, and then turn the next one on too. Use personal meeting ID when starting an instant meeting. An instant meeting is what you do if you just go up here in the Zoom website and just click host. That starts a meeting right away, so-called instant meeting. If you select this option, that instant meeting will start in your personal meeting room instead of some randomly generated meeting room.
okay,
So if you have those 3 options set, enable personal meeting ID, enable or use when scheduling a meeting, and use when starting an instant meeting, it's very hard, not impossible, but very hard to end up in a situation where you're in one meeting room and everybody else is in another. And
okay.
I keep those set that way all the time to avoid that very thing, because it's happened to me too. That will fix that.
Okay. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
I know to press the button record. So the whole
Right.
program,
Mhm.
recording the meeting,
Right.
wherever that is. Where does that get saved?
Okay. You have 2 options in Zoom. You can record to the Zoom cloud, which is the default, or you can record to your local computer. You have to set your account up to allow you to record to your local computer, though the default is just to record to the Zoom cloud. So by default, if you just hit record and it just starts recording without asking you where to record to, it's sending your recording to the Zoom cloud.
I heard a scare story on that one already.
Well, it works exceptionally well.
Well, no, they couldn't find it.
Well, it's in the same place we are right now. It's in your Zoom account screens. You got profile, meeting, webinars, personal content. Well, you won't have webinars.
Oh, I see.
And there's your recordings.
Oh,
That's where your cloud recordings live.
which
You put
would be
that-
better for me because it wouldn't use up space on my laptop.
That's the idea.
Okay,
And here are the recordings. If you use your personal meeting room, it doesn't differentiate one meeting from another. So you can't tell which one is which except by looking at the start time and the date.
okay,
You can figure out which one is which. And you just find the one you're interested in. And if you want to share it with people, you just copy the shareable link to your clipboard and then paste it into Canvas or into an email or whatever. So they can view the recording. If you want to play the recording yourself, you click on that blue frame.
Hi, everyone. This is a sample Zoom cloud recording for our.
And here's your transcript and so on over here on the right as well. So,
okay, because this is one that when we do these flex, we always have people say, well, we can't attend will
Right.
it be recorded?
Trust me, I understand.
Okay. The other thing is I've got somebody making a presentation.
Yes.
So of course I want to share screen, not just mine, but enable her. But when we were practicing today, it looked like there's only one option, either host only or everyone.
Right.
So that's no big deal to go ahead and let everyone do it.
No, you have, that's what you have to do.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't think I can give just one person share.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry
No,
about
I was just looking, I was trying to give you, I right clicked on you and I'm looking to see. I can make you can make the person you want to share a co-host.
it. I couldn't find that.
All right, let me share my Zoom screen here. Show you how that works. Okay, now you're seeing my Zoom screen.
Because our SADAFA, San Diego
Sure.
Adjunct Faculty Association,
I'm
we
sorry.
put on these flex activities
Oh yeah.
twice a year,
Oh
type
yeah.
thing. Okay, and so one of us is the official host, and I'm the one that sets these up, so I'm usually the official host.
Yeah, you run it
But
out.
we have a couple other hosts that are monitoring it, just like you have somebody monitoring chat while you're doing your lecture,
Okay.
that type of idea.
Yeah, it's very handy.
Yeah, so
So,
I do need to know co-host.
So if I want to make you a co-host, there you are. There's your little avatar image.
Okay,
I right click on you and I get this menu and there's an option to make you the co-host. So bing, and it asks me, do you really want to do that? You want to make Carl Lynn your co-host?
yeah.
Yes. And now it's just told you that you're the co-host.
We
And
have
that's
one of the contract faculty persons doing a presentation on what it takes to get to a PhD,
Right.
besides 5 years of your life.
Oh God.
Well,
I.
we have this professional advancement thing,
Oh yeah.
and I personally have suggested to the union when they were doing the negotiating that they require statistics. How many contract applied, how many adjuncts applied, how many contract actually got it, how many adjuncts actually got it. And I hate to tell you this, but the representative at Mesa, when I asked her in a Senate meeting about it, she says, union doesn't require me to keep that, so I don't keep those records. Well, we have a little suspicion that it is not equally done among the campuses, which is why I would like the statistic, but they did not include it in the negotiations. But we hear about it and some people know and other people haven't a clue how you'd even start. So that's what the flex activity
well,
is going to be next week.
It's certainly something they can't take away from you.
Well,
it'll make a difference over time.
we've got somebody else that is going to kind of add to it for questions that didn't get answered. And he had already told us, he said, what a lot of people don't realize is all the work that you have to do, if you don't make it to the PhD, doesn't matter, because that the rest of that work can also be applied towards the professional advancement.
Wow.
Because you're taking classes and other things like that. But people like me, I haven't a clue. I don't know how many classes are invited. I sent her a list of 8 questions that I think would be the most commonly asked ones, including how do you even know what school to go to, how to choose the school, and things like,
Does it matter? What are the acceptable ones?
Well, yeah, acceptable, but also like when I went for my master's, I started out at San Diego State because that's where I got my bachelor's, but there was such a thing going on, the publish or perish, that you did not get to choose your master's thesis subject. Your
major professor chose that for. I know mine did.
Yeah, based on what their next book was going to be.
or what research project they were involved in.
Yeah. And so
yeah.
that's been kind of my question so I went to national instead. And they didn't even require one.
Mm.
But that kind of question, do you get to choose it or does someone else get to choose it? You know, those are the kind of
Well,
topics.
that typically varies from research group to research group within an institution. My my dissertation advisor was one who gave us a lot of latitude, but it still had to be something that he was working on.
Yeah, and then we had
Because
one
he
of the
was gonna
adjuncts
support it, you know.
that she admits that she was stalling off, putting it off, procrastinating. And when she finally got to the point where she wanted to finish it, she turned it into her person. He said, this is not acceptable. You need to rewrite it. By the way, I'm retiring at the end of this semester and there will not be a replacement.
Right. You better get it done quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Procrastination on a thesis or a dissertation is almost impossible to avoid.
So anyway, that's going to be our topic at the Flex.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, that's something that is always worthwhile to
Yeah.
one pursuing.
So the lady that's going to be doing our main presentation, I don't need to make her a co-host, right? I mean, is there a reason? What's the power of a co-host?
Co-host can do most everything that the host can do, except stop or kill the meeting or throw somebody out of the meeting.
So it wouldn't hurt to make her a co-host.
No, it certainly wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
That way she can automatically share her screen.
Without me having to set it up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Saves you a lot of hassle.
Yeah, it might be
You can
easier
also
for her.
record.
Oh, she can record it herself then.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, no, if she's coming in on a smartphone, that imposes other limitations.
Well,
But
that's
if
gonna be our
she'll share
another
her
question
screen.
I have. When I get these
It's far
invites,
better if somebody's going to present during a Zoom meeting for them to come in on a computer. You can
I'm
do it on
pretty
a
sure she's
smartphone.
going to. She's going to, I'm sure.
Yeah,
The
you
ne-
can do
the
it on a
next-
smartphone, but it requires a lot more knowledge of how the smartphone.
Okay, I'll tell her, make sure she does it using a computer.
I would recommend that.
When she and I have talked about it, it looked like it was a regular computer because I don't have a smartphone. And so her talking to me, I don't know if I would have seen her on my regular phone.
Well,
So then-
you can't tell, usually, you really can't tell what kind of device the person
Yeah.
is using to
Now,
access.
when I get invitations like the chancellor's webinars and some of the others, I get this big thing, big long list of all the different ways to sign in.
Yeah.
Is that, I'm just
That's a
sending out
Zoom
my
invitation.
personal
That
room.
that tends just to confuse people. I find it far better to just send the invite link.
Okay.
Like, click here, and not give them 4 different options.
Well, when David and I were practicing earlier this afternoon, and I send him the invite based on if you go to participants here and click invite, he got that thing, but it was all meshed together as one continuous paragraph.
Yes, it is.
It wasn't even separated.
No, it's hard to read,
Yeah.
and there's so much information there, so much more than you need, because nobody dials in on their phone to
Well, the other thing that,
get the audio anymore, and half of that invitation has to do with dial in audio.
the other thing that fouled me up was the fact that in that paragraph, there was a link to the room, not to the room, to the meeting. And he could get it to show up as a link, but I couldn't. It wouldn't work as a link for me. So it was just funny. So that's why I was so glad you were here this afternoon.
I'm so glad I was able to help.
You are.
Yeah.
Moral support plus all these answers. Kathy, I have to ask, I know you, but it's through the Senate, right?
And also we used to like share sometimes the adjunct, like I think office sometimes. See me
Oh, okay.
writing. See, I don't normally wear glasses, but I have to sometimes to see the reading.
No. I know names, faces, and places, and I don't put them together.
Yeah.
Oh,
So watch for our flex. It'll be next Thursday at 1.
Okay.
great.
if I'm available. But I did have a question, and Carlene had
Yes,
mentioned
ma'am.
something about you could tell my pictures up there because I'm in zoom.us. When I turn on to stop video, and it doesn't matter whether it's your video or a link, because I just link, I went to the email and I clicked the link that you provided, which is what you're suggesting that Carlin do. But I don't get my little, I have a little cartoon, cute little cartoon that's supposed to
Right.
be me up there.
And,
And it
and
doesn't
it's not
show it.
showing right now.
No, so like, what am I not
Because
programming?
in order for that avatar image to show when you turn off your video, like mine and Carlin's are doing there next to
And
you,
everyone else, I
in
noticed.
order for that to show, you have to be logged into your Zoom account so that Zoom knows who you are before it can access that profile image and put it up there.
Can I
Okay.
interrupt here? Right now, Kathy, at the top, there's Dave Giberson's, the little small screen. If he moved that out of the way, you see it says schedule, join, and then the next one over would be where you sign in.
Right.
And I have
Log
signed
out.
in, which is why my name's there. I mean, my picture.
Picture. Exactly.
I do not use my camera, so you'll never see a video of me. And if
But
you see just my name, I
we
did
will
not sign
see
in.
your picture because you went to the Zoom website
Mhm,
and you signed in.
right.
Just like I would sign in if I were presenting myself, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay, because I got the
You
email.
don't have to do that to join my meeting. But if you want your avatar, your profile image to show, you have to be logged into your Zoom account so Zoom knows who you are and knows which picture to use.
And I have learned that anytime I'm going to join a Zoom meeting, I come and sign in here first.
Right.
Okay,
And that's how you ensure that your avatar image will appear.
okay.
And you have a cute cartoon. I bounce around because I have pictures of like my horses. Because some of the Zoom I go into, people ask me about my horses. So I put up pictures of my horses sometimes.
Yeah, you can change that profile image whenever you like.
I did it this afternoon to get ready for next week.
Yeah,
All right, so always go to Zoom US
Zoom.us and sign in.
and sign
All
in.
you have to do.
And then how do I get to your link? Because like you give your
Just
link.
click on the link, then wherever.
Oh,
you-
after I sign in, then click the link in the URL.
Right. Or
Right.
if you signed in right now and then turned your video off, we'd see your little profile image.
Oh, definitely do that, Kathy. Show us, make sure it works.
Yes, okay, let me just put this.
Yeah,
I
you
have the
don't
computer
have
up
to
set at
sign-
high.
I'm 90% certain you don't have to be signed in when you join the meeting. You just have to be signed in before you turn your video off.
And most of the links I use, I copy. Like you have one tomorrow, I copy the information, put it on my calendar that I created in Excel. And then I will, after I sign in, then I go click on that link,
Yeah, we make
like in
those
the
links.
email or something.
Yeah, we make those links available as widely as we can, including on our let's see, we kill that. On our Online Learning Pathways website, if you go to the faculty page and scroll to the bottom, here's our calendar. And today's link, here's today's entry. If I click on that, here's the Zoom link. And of course, you can also see what's coming up here a month at a time.
Okay, I'm signed in to the Zoom. And now I go
Turn your
to
video
the link.
off.
Oh, turn my video off. Oh, turn the video that you're seeing me on now off.
Right, you're a stop video button in Zoom. Oh, shoot. I
Nope.
thought that would take effect immediately. I guess it doesn't. I guess you have to have logged in or joined the meeting. Yeah, that makes sense. You have to have logged into your Zoom account before you join the meeting because that's when Zoom identifies you.
Okay,
So that will work though, every time.
It will work. All right, so that's what I should get in the habit of logging to that first, then go to, let me see if I can go to your personal meeting.
I just stay logged into my Zoom account all the time. So whenever I go in,
I try that and it logs me out anyway.
see. when I turn my
Aw,
video off,
nice picture.
So
Yeah, you didn't look like Santa in that one.
ho, ho, ho.
You
I
had a
told-
haircut.
I have a hard time around Christmas time.
I told you I was at a friend's house and I was watching one of your videos, and I had a little child just kind of came up to me. She's like 3, and you were talking. She goes, oh, you know Santa. She was so
Yeah,
impressed.
I walk down the street, I see children pointing at me. Because I've got more than just the hair too, unfortunately. That thing about a bowl full of jelly and all that. So I've got the whole package, everything but the red suit. They just assume I'm incognito.
One of the artists did a whole series of paintings and their sculptures now too. It's Santa's Day Off. So he's not wearing the red suit. I mean, there's like with him at the beach and him fishing and stuff. He's usually got a couple of elves with him.
Oh yeah. That's been happening ever since I grew a beard, which I did in my mid-30s because I have a receding chin.
When did it all turn white?
Shortly thereafter. Very shortly thereafter.
Well, the men in our family start getting gray in their 20s.
Well, I had two choices genetically. On one side of my family, the men were all bald. On the other side, they were all prematurely gray. I got the prematurely gray. And of course, now the other is beginning as well.
My brother is a minister, and he's been in several different cities across the nation. And apparently there's tradition among some that the ministers get a discount, like a senior discount type thing. And he in Newtown, they moved to, they were going to go in and pay for their restaurant food, and they got a discount, and he thought it was a minister's discount. He was in his 40s at the time, and now they gave him a senior discount.
Yeah. First time I got the senior discount, I was 38 years old. And I didn't know it at the time. I got it at a motel. I paid the bill, and the desk clerk was like 18 years old.
Yeah.
So, I looked like I deserved it. She didn't say anything. She just automatically gave me the senior discount. And I didn't realize she'd done it until I got 100 miles down the road and looked at the receipt. It wasn't worth driving back. I would have driven back and paid her the extra money. But then I said, what the heck? And after that, if they offered it to me, I just took it.
I had lunch with a friend and her husband one time that he wanted to order off of the senior menu. And I said something, I said, I know how old you guys are.
There you are,
You're not
Kathy.
a senior. He says, nobody questions it.
Yeah,
Right. It's been so long since anybody asked to see my driver's license. I can't remember.
Kathy, that's darling.
Yeah, you got it.
I finally did, but that's
Yay.
many steps.
That was worth staying for.
Okay, I was glad
Congratulations.
you guys were still there, because I want to say I'm going to log off real quick and then log back on.
I saw you. I figured you were trying to work that out. Yeah, just be sure you're logged into your Zoom account. You can actually log in through the Zoom client too.
No, I tried that and it said, oops, it had a little oopsie guy. Because like it had, I saved the link that you had,
Mhm.
and it had, and I clicked join because I thought, oh, I could just join this way. And it said, oops, I don't know what happened. So then I logged off and went to the URL straight in after I logged in. But
Gotcha.
that's like 3 steps though.
Now, there's 4 pictures up there, counting Kathy,
Right.
but there's 5 participants.
Oh.
Dave's in there 3 times.
This one is me. Actually, 3 of those are me. Two
I know.
at the top are me, and then the host, my host. I've got 3 computers here logged into this meeting.
Oh,
Oh, so when I'm
Primary
the host
one
or-
I'm presenting from is one of those 5. And then I've got my Mac in case somebody asked a Mac question. I've got that logged into the meeting. And then the third one is my laptop, which I have sitting next to me and logged in and joined to the meeting so I can look over there and I can see what you're seeing, because sometimes it's hard to know exactly what your participants are seeing because you see things differently.
yeah.
And to ensure that you don't natter on about something they can't see, if you keep another computer in the meeting, logged into the meeting, you can just look over and say, oh yeah,
I find that
I think
helpful.
they're seeing, or whoops, they're not.
It's like it's only showing this part of me.
Right. So it's I found I mess up less if I do that. I can't say that it totally prevents me from assuming you're seeing one thing when you're seeing something else, but I at least cut that down if I have a second device logged into the meeting that I can see.
And I have passed that tip on in several meetings I've been in. Because the people, they were oblivious. Like Kathy said, it was aimed the wrong way and they had no idea.
Yeah.
So
It's
we
all
see
too
like
easy to
here-
do
like
that.
here to there.
No matter how many Zoom meetings you've run, that can happen to you.
Well, I'm still having problems with some of the meetings not being able to hear people. And
Well,
I've got
that-
people say,
that
well,
can
you
be
need a hearing
beyond-
aid. No.
Yeah, that can be beyond your control. If their microphone sensitivity is set too low, or if their microphone's just junk,
Well, the other thing that
sitting too
happened,
far from it or whatever,
yeah.
it can be very
Well,
hard.
there's a couple of them in the academic senate that they tend to sit back.
Yeah.
And relax and they drift off,
Yeah,
But
and
the other
it's-
thing that was interesting is last spring I taught a face-to-face class. Finally, I got to, and getting my students to respond to me in the classroom. They were too soft-spoken. I couldn't hear them, couldn't hear their questions. I said, come on, guys. I know it's not my ears. I know I've got a hearing problem. However, it's not that much. And one of my more mature students finally came up. He said, I figured it out. I said, what? He says, they're out of practice. They have been on Zoom for so long that they aren't used to having a classroom voice. So
Right.
by the end of the semester, I had them, worked up because I told them, I said, this is a business class. If I
project.
can't hear you, your boss can't hear you. And if your boss can't
Right.
hear you, they're going to wonder why they employ you.
Actually,
Good
there's one
point.
good thing about them wearing the mask is that it does force most of them to speak louder through the mask.
Yeah,
My summer class is all online, and next semester I'm all online, but I'm a little afraid if kids are coming in without masks, I don't know if they're going to be talking about that at any of the thing that you're having, Carlin, or anything.
Well, that was the frustrating part. We were the only class going on in our entire building. And there's a dispenser out in the lobby putting out masks. And a couple of times the students said, we don't need masks. The dispenser is empty, so therefore they aren't requiring it. And I said, well, that's not right. And he said, I know, but we're going to go with it anyway. It's the
Yeah.
school's responsibility.
Well, I carry extras, so.
I don't mind them because to me, like I said, we were scattered out. There was 30 of us in the room in the business technology building, and we were the only ones, so I didn't care. So anyway,
there are those aerosols.
yeah, but there weren't that many. If there had been other classes going on and people milling around and waiting and stuff, that would have been different, but
Well,
You
and
mean I
also
can spray the
put
whole
the
class
FDA
down if I
back
want?
in.
he's talking about the
Lysol?
no, us talking create an aerosol.
Yeah,
Oh.
finely divided droplets that can travel for hundreds of feet on gentle air currents.
And when they sing in a church choir, it's
Oh,
even
God.
worse.
That generates tremendous amounts of aerosol. There was that famous case early in the pandemic when choir practice in a fairly small room in a church.
You're talking
Uh,
about the Awakened Church? It's like
and
2 miles from Mesa.
something like 45 out of 50 people in the practice session got COVID, and they had found out there was one person in the room going in who had COVID, and when they went out, almost all of them had it.
And it was happening as late as last spring. There was one of the pastors that died because
Yeah, same thing.
he and his congregation refused to wear masks. We don't need to. God's going to protect us.
You must be talking about the Awakened Church. It's like 2 miles away from Mesa College.
Would you all excuse me
Oh,
just
sorry.
one moment? There's somebody at the door here, and my wife doesn't.
Well, goodbye. Thanks. You're
Yeah,
awesome.
we're good. We're good.
We're good.
Good to see you, Kathy.
there-
Good
there.
to see
Good to
you,
see you too,
David.
Carlin.
Somebody just came to the door. Okay, I'm
Okay,
good.
bye. I've learned a lot, especially how to get my, wait, let me go off. You can see my little
There's your
cartoon.
avatar. It's working.
Yes, it's working. All right, thank
Okay.
you. Bye.
Thank
Bye bye,
you.
everyone. Thanks for
All right.
coming.
Before we
Bye-bye.
start talking and saying things we shouldn't.